Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Hey there, Four States. This is Luke Taylor. Welcome to another edition of This Week in Crowder College. And today we have Dr. Scott Donaldson with us here on the program. And he's an advisor for the FBLA program out at Crowder College, as well as a business instructor out there. And we're going to be hearing about that program today. And FBLA, it stands for Future Business Leaders of America. And Scott Donaldson, thanks for being with us again on the program.
Absolutely. Glad to do it.
Yeah, so FBLA, now, maybe just to catch everybody up, what is it that is so important for business students if they want to be successful? Why is it important that they join this club?
Yeah, so we tell students all the time that, you know, and I've worked for a couple of different colleges, and it's the same story on any college campus. I mean, you go into your classrooms, you learn theory, you know, you learn how it's supposed to be, and then we try to do the very best job of applying that theory, but we're still in a classroom. And so, you know, anytime we can get a student outside the classroom and participating in an extracurricular activity that allows them to put those leadership skills to work, you know, that is a plus. And here on Crowder College's campus, we have about 400 business majors, and FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, is the only business club on campus. So, you know, we have usually a pretty good participation in that club, and I think we have seen that over the last 3 years.
And I know we chatted last year, I think it was around last March or April, and you guys had just been to a conference that was up at Jeff City or something like that. Did you guys already do that for this year?
Yeah, so this year it was held on the campus of Missouri Western up in St. Joe, Missouri, and it's called our FBLA State Conference, where all the Missouri colleges get together and compete. We have things that are just objective tests, like they go in, they sit down, they take a test, and then we also have presentation-type events where they have to go in and actually work as a team and present a case to the judges. So we get graded and judged on all of that.
Yeah. So you get some great experience there, and you all are mostly competing against like four-year schools, aren't you?
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, so FBLA, unlike a lot of other organizations, they don't differentiate between universities or two-year schools. So when we go to state, and especially when we go to Vegas in June for our nationals, we'll be competing against the best of the best from every college, no matter who it is or how big they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember from my time at Crowder, we would often be up against four-year schools in a lot of competitions in different departments. But I mean, Crowder it always made a good name for itself and always did a good showing and won a lot of those kinds of competitions too. And so, I would definitely tell people if they're thinking about where to go to school, don't write off to Crowder too quickly, because you can get a lot of opportunities there and have get just as great of an experience as any four-year school.
Absolutely. And in fact, just to prove that point, because you're exactly right on, 2 years ago, we won the national championship in finance. And then last year, we won the national championship in business communication. And so this year, we go to Vegas with some really high expectations in accounting and business comm and, ethics and all that stuff. And yeah, don't sleep on Crowder. I mean, if you are thinking about going to school somewhere, you could not choose a better school to start out with, because we've got students that are competing with the best of the best from all over the country, and I guarantee you they're not paying as much as somebody that's going to a bigger university.
Yeah, and there's so many great opportunities at Crowder too, like the FBLA program. So you yourself, you had quite a history with this program, if I remember.
I did. I've been somehow, some way, either as a student or as a sponsor, advisor. I was even a state advisor for the last 20 years. I've been involved in FBLA, and I can say personally, like, it has opened doors for me. I mean, I've sat across from people before that, were interviewing me, and they saw that on my resume, and they were involved in it as well, and so they asked questions about what we did, and it just kind of provided us a common ground to start an interview out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Well, if people want to find out more about Crowder and the FBLA program and just had questions about any of that, what would be a good number for them to call?
Absolutely. They can obviously call my office phone here on campus, which is 417-455-5501, or I'd even leave my email out there, which is Scott, S-C-O-T-T, Donaldson, D-O-N-A-L-D-S-O-N, at crowder.edu. So either way.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Scott Donaldson, we just appreciate your time today, letting us know about the program, and glad to hear about the success you all keep having. And so let's do this again sometime.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.